course, there's another core value that I've talked about many times. The core value is that public education is the great equalizer. Think of that little boy who had to sneak away to go to school to find safety. This is a young man who has spent his life in poverty. And the only chance of him ever getting out of that cycle of poverty is through the education, this really profound public education that we get to deliver to 11,000 students every single day during this school year. But we have lots of stars that have graduated from Springfield Public Schools. People ask us if we follow our graduates, and we do. And I want to tell you a little bit about some of them. The first is Tony Case. I know many of you have heard the name. He was a survivor of the crisis that we had at Thurston High School. Tony is now a rocket scientist. He just graduated with a PhD from University of Boston, and he is really making things happen in this world. Chow Win, beginning her third year at Princeton University. I just ran into Chow this summer. She was actually volunteering at United Way. And when I went up to her and said, Chow, why are you volunteering here? She said, so many people in Springfield School District made a difference in my life, and so many people in the community of Springfield made a difference in my life. I want to give back during my summer vacations. Chow will be off to Princeton again pretty soon. Lene McCollum. Lene is a student of ours who spent most of her life homeless. But through the work of the transition program, community transition programs, she now is gainfully employed in her own apartment. I am so proud of Lene. Captain Joseph Casares. Many of you read about him in the newspaper. He always had a dream of being a soldier, and now he is serving his country in Iraq. He just received the award for the 3rd Infantry as the outstanding soldier, and he is representing 50,000 soldiers with that honor. Joseph graduated from this school in 2007. So what you will see in Springfield School District, education creates opportunities, and those opportunities will assure that every student's a graduate prepared for a bright and successful future. You know, every year I highlight a few schools and their achievement. This year I want to highlight Bratton Elementary as one of our schools. Bratton Elementary is a school with over 83% free and reduced lunch. And look at the results they got. This year, they got 13 percentage points gain in reading and 28 percentage points in math. That is extraordinary. And how did they do it? Well, what Bratton Elementary did was made sure they had 90 minutes every day to teach core literacy skills. They also made sure they constantly were looking at data and regrouping when students needed extra help to achieve whatever skill they needed to meet high standards. Bratton Elementary really did a sensational job last year. Thank you, Bratton Elementary, for our students. At the mid-school level, I want to talk about Briggs Middle School. Briggs Middle School had more than 40% of their students exceed standards. That is very unusual and well above the state average. So what did they do at Briggs Elementary? Well, they really shifted to focal points, key skills that they were going to teach, and they changed their schedule. They changed their schedule to allow for teachers to meet in teams, to look at how students are achieving, and to make sure there's interventions for each and every student. Thank you, Briggs, for what you're doing for our students. I do need to spend a minute to talk about math in our mid-schools in general, because this last year we gained 9 percentage points in math. This has occurred because for the last 3 years, our math teachers have really committed to high standards. They've studied research-based best practice. They've also worked side by side with other school districts who have high achievement, and we're beginning to see the results we want to see for our students. We all know that in order for every student to be a graduate, prepared for a bright and successful future, we always need to do new things. When we look at our data, we see a steady trajectory of continuing improvement. But what we also know is that in order to get the improvement we need for every student to be successful, for every student to have opportunities, we are going to need to do some systems change. And that's exactly what we're doing. And the first thing we're doing is what we're calling the community model. So let's talk about what a community model is. What a community model does is it changes how we deliver special education. Our special education students are returning to their neighborhood schools. What we're doing now is we're not going to talk about students' labels, we're going to talk about their needs. And we're going to use resources flexibly to make sure everyone in the school is successful. So we used to have regular ed money and we used to have special ed money. Now everyone will get to use whatever resources you have in your building to meet the needs of all of your students. With the community model, what we're doing is we're letting all of our students in Springfield School District know that we truly believe in them. Now there's a second part that's critical to the success of the community model, and that is RTI, response to intervention. Well, with response to intervention, again, we talk about students' needs and not labels. Let's look at a few of the key components of this model. The first thing is it's all about improving student outcomes. The second thing is RTI provides a system to monitor how students are going and adjust immediately to meet each of their needs. What I love about RTI is it really drills down and gets us to examine the instructional process, and that's what we're all about. We have tremendous skill with providing instruction. So by using data and looking at our students' needs, we will be able to meet each and every one of them. Well, we have one more new initiative that we will be implementing this year, and that is our K-12 math initiative. As I said before, we started this initiative in the mid-school, and now it becomes a K-12 initiative. What's really key to this initiative is that our students will gain proficiency at the elementary and mid-school level, so when they get to the high school level, they can meet the high standards set for them by the state of Oregon. We used to have math curriculums that were kind of a mile wide and an inch deep. Well, what we're shifting to is the focal points. This is more focus on fewer skills, but drilling much deeper and making sure our students have proficiency on these skills. We're going to be working towards strong conceptual understanding in all areas, making sure our kids can do computations and also do problem solving. Another important part of this math initiative is that effort matters. We're going to show Springfield School District students if you apply effort, you will get results in math in our school district. That's the last of our 3 new initiatives.
Thank you for standing by us.
Thanks for standing by us.
Gracias por estar atrás de nosotros.
Thanks for standing by us.
Thank you for standing by us.